David Naked. As a matter of fact, it is Julie. God, Father, have mercy on our poor souls. Why didn't we see this before? Camilla, you didn't see it. Camilla, let me tell you what is happening. Jolene John brought in David Naked into the UNC. It was Jolene John who brought in David Naked into the UNC. It is my belief that she brought him in and she said, don't worry about campaign finance. I will finance your campaign. But ladies and gentlemen, remember Jolene John is on a mission. And she has a 1% agenda, which is to keep the UNC in opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know the seat David Naked runs for? Tanapuna. You know anybody who wins Tanapuna wins the election? You know anybody who loses Tanapuna loses the election? If David Naked is so much from Lavantil, why doesn't he run in Lavantil? He just talk about the East-West corridor, and I from Mongdo, and from Lavantil, and Uncle Rudolph, and Uncle Rudolph Charles, Uncle Rudolph and Uncle Rudolph. Why the hell he doesn't run Lavantil? Why doesn't he run for Lavantil West or Lavantil East Mover or Port of Spain South or Port of Spain North? Why doesn't he run for Port of Spain South? Have you ever asked yourself that question? No, that is not going to fit into the 1% agenda. Jolene John put him in the marginal seat of Tanapuna. She is in the marginal seat of Lahoketa Telparo, and David Naked is in the marginal seat of Tanapuna. Who wins Tanapuna wins the election. Who loses Tanapuna ends up in opposition. So the two 1%ers are in two marginal seats. And the most obnoxious one is in the most marginal of them all, Tanapuna. Why? The mission is for the UNC to remain in opposition. Listen to Garth Christopher, my brothers and my sisters, UNC members. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not bar talking my party. This is after I carefully studied the strategy of the opponent and the enemy, the 1%. You understand what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Larry Lala has been saying something, and it goes both ways, but he's right. He's dead on the money. He says that the candidates that you put in the UNC stronghold is going to influence how the marginal seats respond on a national scale. And he's correct. But also, the candidates that you put in the marginal seats will immediately tell you how the population is going to vote. And they put David Naked in Tanapuna. Remember, anybody, any party who wins Tanapuna wins the elections. Remember that. And they put David Naked in there. But David Naked, since he came on the scene as a senator, he has presented himself as this big, bad wolf and defender of the UNC. He wants to prove to Rowley and Fitzgerald Hines and they that he is braver than them, he is badder than them, and he can speak nastier than them, insomuch that when he's doing, I mean, as bad as Rowley and they are bad, they are sickening and they are bad, Rowley and Hines, with their language. But you never hear Rowley use the word ass and this and that and that and that. You never hear Hines and them use those kinds of words. But you would have heard David Naked over and over and over using these kinds of words that in itself is a turn off. Not to the die-hard members of the UNC, you know, but to those floating voters, those who prim and proper, and not in a negative way, but you know what I mean. You know, those who, you know, believe in this respectful way and stuff like that. The well-cultured. Let me put it across that way. The well-cultured. He is an instant, immediate, and sure turn off. This David Naked, with his language, he's a sure turn off. The culture of our society, who make up the greater part of the third constituency that Gary Griffith believes he owns and he's in charge of and he represents. We know that is not the case really, but that third constituency, the floating voter, the well-cultured, they don't like that language. And David Naked always and continuously uses that very insulting and bullying language, like what he used against his own Rushton Parry. And imagine the UNC is going to put up David Naked in Tanapuna again. He is going to be rejected. He is going to be rejected. So that is two marginals down for the UNC. You can't win them too. Dave, Jerlin John and they have put David Naked to run in Tanapuna. Jerlin John and the 1% put David Naked to run in Tanapuna because they know that the well-cultured will not vote for him. They will not vote for David Naked in Tanapuna. He will not win. David Naked is going in Tanapuna and he is not going to win, ladies and gentlemen. And Jolene John is going to go in La Hocketa Talparo and she does not intend to win because she's on a mission. Ladies and gentlemen, last night I was telling you, I started reading for you because I did a little research and this is dated. Look at it. Trinidad and Tobago News Bulletin Board. Look at it. Those of us, you all would know that. You all would know that site. John's Pizza Favor. Look at the date. The 12th of the 6th, 2002. And look at the author by Charlene Thomas, Newsday of Trinidad and Tobago. And let me read a little thing. It says former Transport Minister Jolene John approved the relocation of air conditioning units from one part of the new terminal building to that of the Pizza Boys main restaurant, located at the second floor in time for the May 25th opening of the terminal. The cost of those works amounted to over $1 million. And I quote, continue quote, John, who is now the CEO, John, who is now the Chief Executive Officer of the Pizza Boys Group, John was quoted in a newspaper article as saying that the owner of Pizza Boys, Mario Sabga Aboud, offered her the job the same night President Arthur N.R. Robinson appointed Patrick Manning as Prime Minister. So remember in 2002, I think it was the 24th of December, Patrick, when it was 1818, and Baz Diopande thought because he was the incumbent, because he won the election in 2001, he left it up to A.N.R. Robinson, and Robinson screwed him. It was wrong for Robinson to do that. Robinson spoke about moral and spiritual values and what have you. But this Charlene Thomas of Newsday on the 12th of 6, 2002 at 1:46 p.m. her article, she said that John was quoted in a newspaper, John meaning Jolene John, was quoted in a newspaper article as saying that the owner of Pizza Boys, Mario Sabga Aboud, offered her the job the same night President Arthur N.R. Robinson appointed Patrick Manning as the Prime Minister. Continue quote. In the newspaper article, John described the job offer as extraordinary because I didn't know him well. But he saw me at the airport and he knew the struggle I had. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell me if that makes sense in terms of he didn't know you well, but he just saw you struggling at the airport. And in the night of December 24th, 2001, in the night, he got your number from somebody. Well, he's well connected, so let's say he got your number. And he offered you a job. He had a job to be the chief executive officer of Pizza Boys and the group. And he didn't know you before. Jolene John, you can't fool us with that. You can't fool us with that. You belong, you are handpicked. I don't know if it's lodge affiliation. I don't know. But you are handpicked. Somebody don't call you just so. So you weren't interviewed for the job. You were not interviewed by Mario Sabga Aboud, Jolene John. You weren't interviewed. He just called you and made you the CEO, the chief executive officer of his firm and his franchise. Who you want to believe that? UNC members, my brothers and sisters. These are the things they want us to believe. I've read this and I'm going through this to show you, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, that Jolene John belongs to the 1%, the parasitic oligarchy. And her mission, and she brought in David Naked as well, her mission is to keep the UNC in opposition like she did for the past 10 years. And David Naked is one of her disciples. She placed him in Tonapuna, which is a seat that decides who forms the government. We know that it's the well-cultured in our society looking on, and we know for sure they are going to reject outright David Naked's language, his words itself, his tone, his mannerism, and his uncouthness. They are going to reject it outright. So we have already lost one. She has bought Camilla wholesale. Her claws are deep within Camilla's neck muscles. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, Jerlene John is the de facto leader of the UNC. My brothers and sisters of our great party, listen to your brother Garth Christopher. I am not lying to you, but Jerlene John is the leader of this star slate, this star team, and she is the leader, the de facto leader of the United National Congress. She was placed there by the parasitic oligarchy, the 1%, to ensure that the UNC remains in opposition. And here why. Here why. One of the reasons why. When the PNM, whenever PNM is the government, the parasitic oligarchy is in total and absolute control of the economic pie. They call the shots, all the shots, not some of the shots, all of the shots, because they are the owners of the PNM. When the UNC is in power, the parasitic oligarchy, the 1%, they still control an enormous piece of the pie. However, there is another economic class. There is a smaller oligarchy. There is the East Indian who is the competitors of the 1%. The East Indian business people. And the thing is, the parasitic oligarchy wants all. In addition to the East Indian section of the business class of our society, the UNC is a political party that really, really works in the best interest of the poorer people and the working class. That's why I am a UNC. Because the UNC represents me, Basdio Panda's great party, and even Kamala's the PP government, because, you know, Labour was part of it, and NJAC and even Kamala's heart, she came out of the UNC. So she has a heart for the poor. No doubt about it. She has lost her way, and terribly. And the reason why Kamala has lost her way so much is because she depends on Jolene John and they for the financing, and because a lot of the UNC supporters and business people say, hey, you're not winning elections, so, you know, I mean, come on, we can't put our little money that we work hard for into this whole election campaign thing, and you're gonna lose it out and stuff like that, and we end up in opposition, and it's hard for us to even get our license and the economy up and running, is because, you understand, so the 1% send all the money through their proxy and their agent and funding everything. So who pays the piper calls the tune. That is why Jolene John, and that's why the 1% owns the UNC now. We need to get back our party. The people has to now own the UNC. When the people owns the UNC is more powerful, the UNC is more potent, the UNC is more electable. And that is what the United Patriots is attempting to do. Take back our party from the 1% parasitic oligarchy, which Jolene John represents, because she's the de facto leader of the UNC right now on this star team. The United Patriots has taken back our great party and placing it into the hands of the people of its membership. You cannot go out tomorrow, please God, and vote for the star team. A vote for the star team is a vote for the 1%, and a vote for the 1% is a vote for the PNM. A vote for the star team is a vote for us continuing in opposition. And as I have said, Rowley has already been in power for 10 years. And if we lose in 2025, that will be 15 years. That will be 15 consecutive years. And anytime you reach that 15 consecutive year, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be able to smell the corridors of government in 25 years. You, my beloved brother and sister of the UNC, can you afford that? Can our children afford that? Can our country afford that? Let me tell you something. Not even PNM supporters can afford that. PNM supporters wish Parry wins. Not because Parry is PNM. No, because they know whenever the UNC is in power, even PNM people, poor people, fear better. You, my beloved brother and sister of the UNC, we have a responsibility, a tremendous responsibility. Tomorrow, please God, don't allow the rain or the weather to stop you from coming out to vote. Don't allow it. Hitch a ride. Call the office. Call us. Those of you in the East-West corridor in Port of Spain and in Lavantil and in Port of Spain and in Mova and San Juan, you want a right to go and vote for Parry? Call me. 321-0455. You live in Malik, you live in Mova, you live in Lavantil, you live in Beetham, and you want to go down SWWTU Hall, call me. 321-0455, and I will provide transportation for you to go down to the voting station and cast your vote solidly for the United Patriots. All 17 positions, all 17. We have something that we want to say, well, I want to level it off, so I go vote for some members of the star team and some members of para team. Stop it. No. That's going to be confusion and chaos. Not on our part, Not on the United Patriots part, No. We know how to handle that. We will work with everybody. But I'm telling you, put in the entire United Patriots team. Vote for every member of the United Patriots team and reject anything that Jolene John has put forward as that star team. Reject it, because, listen to me, anytime you put in members of the star team, anytime you vote for them, Jolene John and they in control of them, you know what they would do? They would cause them to come and say all kinds of things and try to mash up the Natex and say Parry and them this and Parry and them that and Parry and that, because the general election is there. And they would want to say, you see, Parry and them thing and Parry and them thing and they said they was going to do that. And no, this time they would be trying to work from the inside to destroy the United Patriots new Natex. Don't fall for it. You see this idea that I'm going to boss up my vote and I'm going to vote some for the star and some for the thing because you want to play, I want to balance it. Hey, problems. Don't do it. You're wrong. Don't do it. Vote solidly for every member of the United Patriots. Reject outright Jolene John and voting for Jolene John and is voting for people like David Nackett and ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. And remember, let me read something again for you to show you how Jolene John is connected to this 1%. It's from The Guardian. Look at here. Thursday. Look at here. The Guardian. I ain't telling all of no stories. PM got government ministers meet with Syrian Lebanese community. That was Patrick Manning. Let me read it very quickly. Prime Minister Patrick Manning and at least 4 senior members of his ruling People's National Movement cabinet delivered presentations to a private cottage meeting of the Syrian Lebanese Women's Association of Trinidad and Tobago yesterday afternoon. That's a very, very powerful team there. That was on the 27th of the 3rd, 2010. You see the date there? The 27th of the 3rd. Where the date is? 27th of the 3rd, 2010. Yes, right. Manning kicked off the 2-hour meeting around 5 p.m. at businessman's Mario Sabga's home. The same Mario Sabga who called Jolene John in the dead of the night and offered her a job as the CEO. He never met her because she said that she described the job offer as extraordinary because I didn't know him well. So a man who didn't know you well call you in the dead of the night and give you a job as the CEO of his company, of his franchise. So this is where this meeting was. Only remember that meeting with Manning when they called Manning, the woman and them, the Syrian Lebanese Women's Association call him, and the husband and them tell him, hey, what you doing, brother? Hey, call election. Bam, and he come in, call snap election. Only remember that. So they held this meeting at his house at 55 Goodworth Avenue in Goodwood Park. The Prime Minister met scores of members of the local Syrian Lebanese community, including prominent businessmen from the Port of Spain and long-standing P&M financiers, P&M owners. Also making presentations were Works and Transport Minister Colm Imbert. Now, Yeah, he is one of them. Trade and Industry Minister Mariano Brown, well, he had to do that. Finance Minister Karen Nunes Teixeira, well, she had to do that. And National Security Minister Martin Joseph, well, he had to do that. Guests parked their cars in Goodwood Park and were shuffled to Sabga's house using maxi taxi from Kalu's auto rental. But this is what I want you to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully to this paragraph. Opening remarks were delivered by Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago UDCOT Chairman and Housing Development Corporation Managing Director Jolene John, who was the former Chief Executive Officer of Sabga's Pizza Boys food chain. Well, in quotation marks, well, you saw all the ministers and they just spoke about things affecting, which would impact on the business community. That basically was it. It was no different to meeting with any other community, John said. She explained that she made a very small presentation and said nothing major. She also said that she did not speak about UDCOT. No, not at all. I just welcomed and thanked the community, John said. She laughed off suggestions that she organized the meeting. The Prime Minister was invited by a member of the community, John said, and I end that there. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Jolene John, at that time, it said, opening remarks were delivered by Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago UDCOT Chairman and Housing Development Corporation Managing Director Jolene John, who was the former Chief Executive Officer of Sabga Pizza Boys food chain. So even after she left the job of being CEO, even after she left the job, she was so good and tight and close with Sabga that she, in that meeting, she made opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying that to let you know, Jolene John, I know some of you like her. Jolene John is the de facto owner of our party, and she's working for the 1%. And the 1% is PNM. You have to get rid of Jolene John. You have to reject her outright. You have to say no. And their mission is for our party to remain in opposition. We cannot afford to do that. And she has David Nackett along with her, with his uncouth and his disrespectful self, in one of the most marginal of marginal seats. Whoever wins Tanapuna wins the government, and right there is where they're going to send him. Again and again and again, and he's going to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to give ourselves a breathing chance. We need to give ourselves an opportunity, and not ourselves, but our children and the other children of our country. Let's vote for the United Patriots, for them. For ourselves, yes, but for our children. Okay? Let's do that tomorrow, please God. Polls open at 8. Remember, you may not see, you may go where you're living now, in the polling station where you currently reside, but your name might not be there. Remember where you used to live. Your name may be where you used to live, in a voting station where you used to live, because there's where you were living when you registered as a member of the UNC. All right, now I want to play a clip here for you, because you remember David Nackett. David Nackett was telling us that anytime if Pare come out and they could prove to us that they were not going to hold that Kamala wasn't going to hold the internal elections, then I go support him. And I showed you last night. I showed him last night, and I showed you last night that when well, we know Kamala is not going to come out and say that word for word, but Ravi Ratiram, when he was being taped, he said, no, this, brother, to be quite honest, I telling you, them ain't going on hold on Natex now, no, them ain't going to hold on Natex, and the Natex is held when the political leader believes that it is appropriate and when it's necessary. And listen to Saddam Hussein now, listen to him. Play the clip, listen to Saddam Hussein.
We have the policies and we are guided by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who will be returning as the next Prime Minister of this country. She will be returning. So tonight, we should have been doing that, but tonight the other team have us here, have us spending and diverting our resources. We have the policies and we are guided by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who will be returning as the next Prime Minister of this country. She will be returning. So tonight, we should have been doing that, but tonight the other team have us here, have us spending and diverting our resources.
Nice, nice. David Naked, you went to universities of the West Indies. I got Christopher Humi. I got Dunsey here. I went to Mova Lavantil. I went to Malik Secondary. And I went to Shagrama's youth camp. I went to low-grade schools. As a matter of fact, I went to Mova Central Government. That's where Russell Latapi School is right now. And we were one of the worst primary schools where educational level is concerned. So I said, Dunsey Head. You went to universities, but you listen to what another bright boy said? You listen to what he said? Play the clip again for me. Let everybody hear this clip again. Play this clip again.
We have the policies and we are guided by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who will be returning as the next Prime Minister of this country. She will be returning. So tonight, we should have been doing that, but tonight the other team have us here, have us spending and diverting our resources.
Nice, nice. He said, Kamala is going to be returned as the Prime Minister of this country. And we were on that track. That is what we were pursuing. That is the things that we were doing. We were focusing on that. He said, but we shouldn't be not focusing on the general election now. He said, we should be focusing on the general elections. It's the other team. It's Perry and them who have us here now focusing on local election. Sorry, not local election. It's Perry have us here now focusing on internal election. It's the other team have us focusing on internal elections. We're not supposed to be focusing on no internal election now. What internal election? They have us diverting resources to internal election when we should have been using that resources to get Kamala back into government. David Naked, I want you with your bright self to interpret that and tell me if Saddam Hussein is not telling us that they had no intentions of using up any resources, any of the precious and scarce resources on internal elections, but they were focusing on general elections 2025. David Naked, you study sociology and all kind of philosophy and political science and analytics and all kinds of stuff, and mathematics too, and language too. You tell me if what he is saying is that they were not planning to hold an internal elections before the general elections. You, David Naked, I'm telling you, we go work with you, but they had a toe. We have to toe out first and tone down. And we go work with you in sports. Yes. Once you have the skill sets, my brother, we are not like you. We are not divisive like you. We're not a man who is boasting about how divisive he is and how disrespectful he is. He's boasting and telling people, well, me, I only talk to Parry about twice or three times. I just say hello to he. I say hello to he twice or three times. You should be ashamed to say stuff like that, my brother. But anyhow, you have said it, and out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And you spoke, so we know your heart, my brother, David Naked. So we have heard, again, I have proven to you that Camilla and Jolene John, and they had absolutely no intention, zero intention of holding any internal elections. So when they come to you and they poison your mind and tell you, look at them, they want to mash up the party, and we had intended to hold internal election, but they come in the Russian way, they're angry. You know why? Because we throw them off the game. We throw off the 1% of the game. That is why they're angry, and they question we every minute. They get every second they get the cussing we, and Kamala lying and saying we cussing them. The United Patriots cussing them. But when it's them cussing we, every second they get the cussing we. You know why they vex and they're mad? Because we throw off the 1% game. Because they wanted to go into the elections and lose again. Because they know anytime they lose again, what is going to happen? The PNM will be in office, not the PNM, the 1% will be controlling the whole economy for the next 25 to 30 years. So we interrupted their flow. So you have a responsibility. My brother and my sister, tomorrow, please God, get up early. Don't let the rain, the sun, nothing stops you. Encourage other people to go and vote. Encourage your brother, your sister, once they are members and they are UNC, encourage them to vote. Nobody could stop you. You go down there, we have people in the stations, we have lawyers there. Speak to us, speak. And we will make sure everything is okay. We have our polling agents and everything. Okay? This is going to be the mother of all internal battles and elections in the UNC. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to this clip here. Listen to what Kamala Prasad Bissessa said. Now you need to share this live to everybody who is on YouTube, who is on Breakfree, who is on Facebook, and who is on Twitter, because we are streaming live on these three platforms. Plus, you can post it in your WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. Listen to the arguments that I'm putting forward. Listen. Pay attention to it and understand and share it. Now listen to Kamala Prasad Bissessa as I close. How long have I been on? All right. As I close, I want you to listen to Kamala herself. Listen to her.
They lost 4 times. The present leader has lost for our party. In 2001, lost. 2002, lost. 2003 local, lost. 2007, lost. And you want to talk about track record and trench? How are you going to go forward come next election if we keep the status quo and keep the present leader? What will happen? Lost again. They lost 4 times. The present leader has lost for our party. In 2001, lost. 2002, lost. 2003 local, lost. 2007, lost. And you want to talk about track record and trench? How are you going to go forward come next election if we keep the status quo and keep the present leader? What will happen? Lost again.
Kamala said it well. How Do you want us to go forward? How do you want us to form the government in 2025? You have to give us a chance. Give us some breathing space. Give us an opportunity to win. You cannot maintain the status quo. Look how many times they have lost. Give yourselves a chance. What you want to do, as she said, you want to go and lose again? It's 10 years now. We are in opposition. Look at the state of the country. We cannot afford. We just cannot afford to lose again. And any time the star team is re-elected as the NATEX, the National Executive of the UNC, we are going to lose again for sure. Look at the people who are on that team. Many of them are before the courts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to go there. Kamala say we bad talking them because we are saying they are. Everybody knows that. We are just saying you cannot tell Rowley and they are corrupt, and you have people who have allegations and who have charges. David Lee is on $1 million bail. And I say no more about that. We know. My fellow brothers and sisters of the United National Congress, as I said, this is the mother of all battles. And we know that the parasitic oligarchy, the 1%, who's using their proxy and their agent, Jolene John, and their sub-agent, David Nackett, and these people, to keep the UNC in opposition. We know they're trying to destroy our party. We know they want the PNM to get a third consecutive term, and once they get this third consecutive term, they will be in power for no less than 25 consecutive years. And trust me, we can kiss our party goodbye. No political party can survive being 25 years in opposition. We cannot even survive being 15 years in opposition. So if the PNM were to win this other election coming in 2025 and the UNC were to go in opposition, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to get out and to get up and to even be a formidable, or a solid enough, or a formidable opposition in any time after 2025. You can kiss the party and kiss government goodbye for the next 25, at least 25 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not fair. This is reality. This is political analysis. This is understanding the politics. This is not fair at all, at all, at all. I'm not trying to fear you. There's no scaremongering or fear-mongering. This is explaining to you exactly how it's going to happen if we put God out of our thoughts and tomorrow, God's willing, retain the star team, or try to say I vote in some star and some party and some United Patriots. No, I say to you that when you go tomorrow, please God, down by your voting booth, early, vote the praying hands. Vote the praying hands. Do not vote the star team. Vote the praying hands. I want to thank you very much for being with us, and I want you to keep on sharing the live. Share the live on YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. All right? So just share the live. And again, thank you very much. Wake up early in the morning, God's willing, and go down and vote for the United Patriots. Vote solidly and completely, not part star and part Patriots. Vote for the 17 members of the Patriot, because Julian John and they are going to use whomever you vote on the star team to be in the NATEX. They're going to use them to try to disrupt and mash up the NATEX. To say, look, you see, they fail. It's going to be all done for the PNM under the whole mission of the 1%. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is fact based on my deduction and my analysis and my observation. Okay? So again, thank you very much, and vote for the United Patriots. Bye-bye.
No borders with Garth Christopher. Tune in as he pushes the envelope in talk radio. Listen to him extend the current limits of performance and take you beyond the commonly accepted boundaries, testing those limits and taking you as far as it's safe to.
A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT.
Hi everyone, I'm here at the United Patriots headquarters, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to cast your vote for the United Patriots on Saturday the 15th of June. Firstly, you might be wondering whether your name is on the membership list. Well, it's really easy to find out. What you can do is call 433-1442 or 739-0394. One of our helpful representatives can check the list to see if your name or your family member's name are on the voters list for this election. Next, on election day, which is Saturday, 15th of June, you can head down to your assigned polling station. And if you'd like to know which polling station, the location of your polling station, here is a list on screen of the various stations located across Trinidad and Tobago.
A stronger UNC. Whoa.
Be sure to walk with a valid form of ID on election day. And this can either be your driver's permit or your national ID card. So now for the most critical part, to actually cast your vote. There are 17 positions on the NATEX that we are contesting, and it sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that bad. Here we have a ballot guide, and what you'll do is you'll place your mark next to each one of the praying hand symbol.
For the people out there, you know that we are facing challenging times. For the last 9 years, things got bad, but now it's victory time. Come June 15, 2024, be fully conscious of yourself.
After you cast your vote, you just place your ballot paper into the ballot box, and you can go about your day knowing that you've done your duty as a UNC member and a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Just remember, a stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. And on Saturday, 15th June, put your X next to the praying hands. Thank you.
A stronger UNC is a stronger TNT. A stronger UNC. Whoa. We're climbing higher.
Members of the United National Congress, on Saturday, June 15th, we have a chance to make history. We have a chance to choose a new direction, a brighter future, and a stronger party. If we want to beat the PNM, the UNC must change. We need a new UNC that listens, that cares, and that fights for every single one of us. Together, we can build a stronger UNC for a stronger TNT. On Saturday, June 15th, put the UNC in safe hands. Put your X by the praying hands.
Being a stronger